Good evening, ladies and gents. This is Nurse the Human, and welcome back to our India campaign on Rome towards Alexander. And you join us over here near Kamana, where last time we had a bit of a chaotic day, didn't we? We had our dear friend Unpronounceable, who had a beautiful battle on the bridge here, but accidentally died in the great battle over hither. And since then, well, we've had a couple turns. Not an awful lot's happened, but you might notice one key difference because, yes, I decided I'm going to have a change of plans today. Oh, yes. You see, we kind of hit a bit of a brick wall here. There are many, many Persian armies, and we are getting more and more depleted. We're essentially just relying on Pura to do the job and not die. The rest of our army is battered. Very, very badly battered indeed. We don't have the money. Some of these mercs are a little bit too expensive, to be honest, but I can't really afford to not have them right now. So, yes, a few issues there. So, instead, what I decided I'm going to do is say, stud all these, they can just be a distraction. We're going to hop on a boat and go and smash up this part of the Persian Empire instead. That seems like an excellent plan to me. So we have a boat over here. I have had one battle in between, and I think they just ran off, which might be this army or this army over here. But unfortunately, no bridge battle, so we're going to run over here towards the boat, and we're going to hop on in. Now, Persepolis is too close to all this madness. I'll be intrigued to see if they decide to follow me. I'm pretty certain they can't have anything left over here by now. They really can't. They've sent everything this way. We demolished army after army. And, oh yes, we have a new unpronounceable who's actually much more pronounceable. The classic Indian name of Ramesses, which is grand. He is brave, which is nice to see. Took care of some rebels. It's easy to be brave on top of an elephant, let's be fair. But yes, we're going to go and reinforce Banu, because if you might recall, we had a couple of generals over here to go and take Petra, and luckily our allies have turned up to help us out, which is marvellously good news. We are, of course, going to get the ladders. The 10 men from the city of Banu can come and help us in this task, which is great. So hopefully we'll have this back under our control very soon indeed. So it's going to be an interesting one. We're just going to go for the wild, ride by the seat of your pants. That's a phrase, I think. Anyway, we're going to end the term and see what happens with this madness. And the first poke then comes at Bactria, where I say surprisingly, it's somewhat surprisingly, they decide to give us a poke. Of course, we do have a whole army of reinforcements who I'll probably let take a lot of the brunt of this, if I at all can. Too experienced on lots of them, so not a bad army to take out of the field. Obviously, they're very much behind the lines at this point, so I could, quite like to take this back under control. These two lads can, try and reinforce and just hold on to at least some of the territory we have in this part of the world. If we can hold on to bulk over here, I'll be quite pleased. Let's head into this defence then. A sunny battle. We, of course, have elephants. This is what we brought along to win this battle for us, ladies and gents. These 10 lads with a ladder. No, I think you should probably, run off and actually quite far, quite quickly. Now, what are they actually doing, by the way? They're going to organise themselves? They might do. I'm a little bit concerned that, I don't want to charge into them too quickly, actually, because it's nice to pressurise them as they organise themselves. But there are some towers here, so I'm going to be careful. Make sure I shoot them with some arrows. Reinforcements, on the other hand, sadly, they don't have any equipment, so they're not going to necessarily be very helpful. Doesn't know what they're doing. Oh no, they are mobilising, but it's quite slow. So they still had the brown banner in spite of the slightly more Pontic colouring. Beautiful. So as the camera pans back across the city in dramatic cinematic fashion, we will get ourselves set up and start shooting these lads. For some reason, these lads want to actually charge the elephants, so we'll plough straight into them immediately, and hopefully that will break one unit. The Peltas need... That's what I want to see. The Peltas are actually quite threatening towards us, so getting on top of them nice and early is pretty ideal in my mind. So in we go, in we go. Deal with those Peltas, please. Just make sure they are not throwing into you. Can we just try and get away from that tower? That would be nice. I don't want the tower shooting at us. I want to be fairly light arrows, of course, but not the ideal position for us to attack, of course. So let's head in. No break yet, which is surprising, particularly when you consider the absolute demolition. Oh, elephants are great, aren't they? They're just wonderful. Okay, I tell you what, we've done a nice poke here. Let's not get too stuck into the areas. We haven't broken them. Let's pull back. Okay, apparently the elephants don't want to pull back. We're going to try and pull back. There we go. Right, so mayhem has ensued, as you might well expect. 11% guild. Our reinforcements moving. They are, but not at any special rate. Let's get back on top of the Peltast, because they do need to go down. And we're just going to charge through these once more. Why does this not get old? It's just so beautiful. They are going flying. It's the hyper-Ukrainian cavalry are actually quite scary because of the javelins, but they have to start to pile into us, which is good news indeed. They're starting to organise their troops, but they're also starting to get the route. Oh, horses don't like elephants. Ah, fly like a bird on the wings of the night, and indeed, that is what they do. I'm sure that's a phrase. It's probably a phrase. It is a phrase now. Let's pull out of this a little bit. Let's see if we can draw in 1 or 2 other units. We'll whittle them down. All the flaming arrows. No. They are spectacularly dangerous. We need to get ourselves out of there right now before the next one comes in. We really need to keep out of... No, don't get drawn in. You need to stay away from the... Flaming arrows are literally the only thing that's going to ruin this for us. Get out of there now. And yet more units come to join the party, and, well, they're flying like hotcakes today, but sadly, we might actually run out of elephant power pretty soon, because I'm getting a bit concerned at this point. Their archers are moving forward. Okay, we might just need to run down the hill into those archers. It might not be the worst idea, actually. Yeah, you know what? It looks like we've done quite a lot of damage. Let's just run into the archers at this point. 54% killed. It's a bit dangerous because we're a bit low on... Yeah, our energy's getting a bit poor, but we might just need to do it that way. And we have to hit them before they rout us. They do rout so easily from that situation. Let's split up the elephants, because if one breaks and goes completely mental, they will annihilate your other elephants. Something really to bear in mind. So, come on, charge down to those modern archers. They're the last people that I actually feel any threat from. Get down the hill. They're going to get one more volley in. And just so long as they don't make us run riot here, that's all that I plead. Yes! They didn't get the shot away. Beautiful news, beautiful news. They're actually running into the city. Charge them down, follow them into the city. We might actually be able to win this even without our allies. We are now under fire from the towers, but hopefully we can get into these city walls. The gates are still open for us. Anytime when we're running, lads, just keep going, keep going. There are some hyper-Ukrainians over there who can be problematic. No, we're stuck and confused, and we're getting hit by massive cavalry piles. Let's just take the gates have been shut. Okay, and now we're running riot. That is pretty much the worst case scenario right now. Run that way, run that way, run that way, run that way. These guys are running amok, and I can't kill him because he's a general. Get out of there! Oh, we were so close. I got over the top. Got ahead of myself. Get out of there. Just don't let this guy run amok into you. He's running amok, but he's still listening. He's just standing there. This is running amok, apparently. Look at this. There we go! That's more like it. Thank you, sir. Right, now get out of the way before you end up killing your friends. That's all that really matters to me. Just get out. He's dead. He's dead, which is unfortunate because I would have quite liked to have these generals. But there we go. Well, there we are. Mistakes were made, and well, at the very least, we've still got one general left, and we might have a chance. Let's just get on top of these guys as much as possible. Let's not let his death be for now. Another day and another dead Timmy. Oh dear. Now, there was someone called Tim in the comments complaining about him being called an elephant. Now, I'll be honest, I'd say that is in some ways a massive compliment, but fair enough. So, if anyone has any suggestions for the next... oh dear, this isn't good. Yes, if anyone has any suggestions for the next elephant's name, Boris will be called Timmy. His elephant is definitely called Timmy, but, you know, I'll take suggestions for the next faction leader's elephant name. So, comments down below. This is such a bizarre battle, but we have now broken the general as well. Maybe I should just wait for my reinforcements. The allies will probably do the job in the end. Okay, you know what? We'll just do that. We're going to get these elephants out of here. Get yourselves out of here. Wait for the reinforcements. I'm not sure how they've done it, but the reinforcements have made it into the city, which is interesting. Very interesting indeed, considering, yeah. Is that good? Who's going to take the city in that case? Because neither of us are attacking. Is it just who gets there? Well, that's problematic. Okay, well... are they going to win? They are going to win eventually. Well, this is an interesting predicament. Are they going to win? Well, if they stand here getting shot, they're definitely not. And to be honest, I would really quite like them to still be alive to help defend my city for me. A couple of units have got inside. Not enough to actually take the city by the looks of it, but a few of them have. What an absolutely mental battle. Perhaps the strangest thing, not only is it that this one unit of 22 archers is routing all of these units, possibly because they're terrified by elephants, but none of these gates seem to be theirs either. I don't really know how they got in, because usually they got in, they would at least taken the walls. I guess maybe this cavalry followed them in. I don't know. Anyway, looks like we're going to have to go and take the walls for ourselves, so that's what we're going to do. Go and take the walls, my good sirs. Go and take them. Down goes the general. Sadly, Allies' leader has died in the assault, and whilst these few men have done some good damage, they should hopefully have done enough to let me crack my way in, which is essentially what the plan is right now. 10 men, 9 men. Now, they are getting shot. Really should have picked the exact angle where they wouldn't, but it's enough to take the walls, which is all I need. Yay! We're eager to take the walls. Lovely news. And oh yes, with that, go and take it. Oh yeah, and with that, this time we're not going to get boiling oiled, which was always inevitably going to be a massive issue. Quite why I let it become that issue, I don't know. So, here we are then. We're getting javelins, which is unfortunate, but the elephants, hopefully, can do the job. They're actually wasting their javelins, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But I don't want to lose the tower. Hopefully that still keeps us the tower. Come on, let me in, let me in, let me in. Come on, there we go, we got in. Woohoo! Now, is my general at the front? I don't actually know where he is. Blow the Horn of Destiny, which I'm not sure does anything with elephants, but we're going to try and crack it anyway. There we go. We've got it. That's good news. So, with that, hopefully, we'll have the city. Unfortunately, the 3 archers have managed to send my my general amok, which is a bit unfortunate, let's be fair. That's not the ideal plan. However, my reinforcements, if they ever make it around the city walls, can actually get in now. I've actually opened a gate for you lads. Stop standing there and dying. Oh, this is all very, very silly, but maybe they can still win this battle. Who knows? Apparently they want to leave. They're running amok, but they know how to use a gate, which seems very not running amok. But apparently they're in a very orderly fashion. They're running amok back outside the city walls, which is not great because they're going to run into those towers. I kind of want you in the city. Just stay in the city. And that's the enemy general. Okay, I thought that already happened. I have no idea why I got that message again. Now, in fairness, if my general just runs off the battle map and the timer runs out, that would actually be quite good. I'm a bit concerned about these guys just routing right now, which could easily happen. Don't know why they're not routing. Sadly, there's no inside shooting tower here, which is a big shame. But I think at this point, we're just waiting for the clock. Well, it turns out that these guys are probably going to survive until the end, which is good news indeed. We are fleeing in panic, oblivious to the world. Yes, they do appear to be very, very much fleeing right now. Quite why these infantry don't just get up and beat these 4 men, I don't know, but it does mean, well, I hope I get these back. Who even knows what's happening at this point? So this will end up being a draw, but I will at least have one of my 2 generals left, which means the siege will continue. Oh, I was so close. Just those 3 archers set him off, and I knew it was going to happen. I just knew those 3 would do the job, but hey-ho. Anyway, overall, pretty good piece of work. All those kills were pretty much just the towers, let's be fair. Apparently we got the city. How lovely. Well, we killed enough... Oh, I have no idea what's happening. Yes, we'll exterminate, even though it's the only good force I have. We have nowhere to withdraw to. Well, before we head off then, onto the great boat of merriment, we're going to have to face this full stack, which is interesting. Well, because it's one less army to take our territories. It's not a very good one, but always got to be a little bit careful. Some Bulgarians, some Hyper-Ukrainians, fine. We'll see what we have to do. Well, here we are then, pretty much backs against the sea. We've managed to turn ourselves around a little bit, but we can even see our boats in the distance. It's so beautiful, but they're not quite here in time to pick up the army. So, oh, there we are, an instant rout there with our 5 chariots. That's beautiful work. Oh, I love it. We have like 3 of them, but they seem to have done the job. Oh, there's another 11. That's probably why. There we go. Okay, flare and arrows are coming in. I was hoping, to be honest, we would just catch them while they're moving, but maybe we'll just keep the elephants back for the time being. The main thing was just to kind of push these, push those lads away. So we'll just chase them down like cavalry. You get on top of them as well. And we'll just, run back at this point and just see what madness ensues. Of course, every battle here is complete chaos. So I'm just going to assume more of the same. So chariots over there. I would kind of like to turn these chariots back around, so that's what I'm going to do, actually. You get over there, and I think... Oh, yeah, we are making them make strange decisions. Right. Elephants, elephants, elephants. They're Bulgarians. What do you want to do? Yeah, just get in. Just get in. My missiles need to... Yeah, we'll make sure they just shoot him. That would be perfect. And, okay, these chariots are going to get themselves destroyed, unfortunately, which is not ideal. Let's get these cav around the flank. Yeah, just to keep those guys poked and dealt with. We're now broken, which is not what I wanted to see, but it's just the way things are going. Elephants are getting shot, but look, this is mass routing. It's utter madness. Right, we're just going to plough straight through infantry. Just start running forward, because why not? I guess we might as well. It's the only tactic we've got at this point. We need to take care of these guys, and... Oh no! Oh no! Ah, they got caught out by the Bulgarians, which is not ideal either. They've also broken. We're just going to send everyone straight through. Oh, there's no tactic left on this game, is there? There's nothing left other than charge like maniacs. Okay, infantry, infantry, infantry. Infantry, infantry, infantry. Turn back over to this part of the world. What is even happening? These cavalry are the general. They need to go down. We'll get on with that immediately. Their cavalry are not going to bother charging into our infantry for some unbeknown reason. Lovely news. Javelinmen, charge into this Persian infantry. We're going to get our infantry into the back. Those are just some of the female archers who unfortunately just need to die right now. So we'll just go on top of them. General is gone, which means, oh, this is utter chaos, isn't it? To be honest, we just kind of want to not lose too much, which was probably unfortunate as soon as I threw away some of my chariots here today. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We've managed to clear off these guys. A bit of damage to Indian archer girls, but you know what? I think we've largely got them on the run. So another stupid battle, ahoy, but yeah, we'll just get the missiles to shoot down those guys. That's probably what we need to see. Oh yeah, there's a few of them over there. You guys just go and deal with that. Infantry, get yourselves back in position just to cover our archers, and we'll charge down what we can. The official kill count is astronomically in our favour, and whilst those chariots were potentially thrown away, they did do a huge amount of -5 experience. Yes, they did do a good amount of work while they had the opportunity. So back to the campaign map, and we'll see if they want to do anything else suicidal on this end turn. Apparently they do not. They have those squared up against us, and there we are. The boats have now arrived, and it's time for us to flee across the seas. Oh, isn't that just marvellous? So we now actually have 5,000 monies, which is more than I was anticipating us having. Although, of course, I wasn't expected to get Bactria until this turn itself. Now, this is one of the cities with better recruitment opportunities. So, yeah, you know what? We'll retrain those to begin with. We'll get ourselves a unit of female archers just to kind of keep things going and ticking over. And yeah, we might as well get the blacksmith all sorted out. Into here you go. Yeah, send the female archers into there. Send you on to the next city. Marvellous news. In fact, should we head off to Balk already? Yes, I'm going to send you over there. That's probably for the... Yeah, probably for the best at this stage. For profits of 5,000, mostly due to sacking things, but we'll take it. We will take it. Taxi, though, we'll just get ourselves a basic. Who is the cheapest upkeep? Oh, yeah, it's the female archers. I never did change them, but money's bad enough, so you know what? I don't need to cripple myself even more. Now, we've officially kind of given up all of our armies in this part of the world. This was a pretty ideal spot, which is why we're standing there. We'll see what their response is. Now, at this point, we can get a little bit of bolstering in this part of the world. I wouldn't mind, you know. It's not really worth building anything there right now. Balk can't get anything, so we will get a barracks there simply because I can't do anything else with the town. So that's probably what we should be doing in the meantime. Over here in Chad Sandwich, we don't need to worry too much. Okay, well, we'll just get ourselves sorted and see what their next move is. Well, with a new turn comes new opportunities for them to take cities, but I'm not sure they've quite realised what's happened just yet. We, though, are now plodding off in this direction. So let's just make land for the time being, just to be safe, and we'll just poke around. Nothing seems to be here right now, so we will... I don't know whether to go to Babylon if it's a bit too close, or if we should just go all the way over to Petra and take Egypt and Tyre and all of those cities. That might be the best plan, you know. We're not going to waste our money on mercs. Those are actually quite expensive, so we're just going to keep on bolstering our city as we can. Now, we are actually big enough to get up to stone walls there, and that is massive, so we will go and do that. I thought we will get ourselves not quite big enough for stone walls, and you are likewise probably pretty small, yes. So we'll see what we can do in these towns. Balk is one more turn away from getting itself barracks, which is good news. Over here, we will just try and train one or two of our good units. I want a second army to be able to be built casually in these cities while we try and guard them. And hopefully things will come together. I did have a diplomat over here who was on his way trying to catch up with the Macedonians, who, there we are, we can't be allies, but we can have trade rights. Let's swap a map information. There we are, generous and fair. So they are really just this corner of the world right now. But perhaps in time we can do something interesting with them. Over back to the Scythians, who seem to hate us apparently. But you know what? We'll end our term. We'll see. They are now making their moves. Okay, they're now pouncing forward slightly, which is interesting. I'm going to build the second layer of walls just to see what we can do. I'm going to send all of these chaps and lasses over in that direction. Get them over there as well. And just continue to just build things up a little bit in the background here. I will get myself, if I can, another unit of chariots over there just in the offing. Build them up. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to be a clever little sausage here. And I'm going to get myself one more unit of archers. I'm going to leave these on half built. And then, yeah, start building these so that we're not paying for them yet, but we're ready to go bam, bam, one unit each turn rather than waiting to and paying for them in the meantime. So that's it's not necessarily a trick, but it's just sensible planning, I suppose. Oh, dear. Pirates. Yeah, well, that's not surprising. Okay, looks like we're going to Petra then, ladies and gents. We're going to run off towards Petra, which... To be honest, should we just send... I think we should just send... We could just send these guys on, actually. It wouldn't be the worst idea. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. We're going to send the cavalry ahead. These guys have ignored the road, which is interesting of them. But yeah, we're going to go and do that. Meanwhile... Oh, there is a Persian fleet. I may have just picked the perfect moment to have done all this nonsense, actually. We'll just go and blockade that. There isn't much else for this boat to do apart from die. So... we'll let it do that in the meantime. Over here we have 3 units of infantry, 2 archers. One more infantry would be very nice indeed. Over here we are not going to be ready in time because I decided to wait a turn over there, which was probably a stupid plan as it turns out. But all is fine. Fine, let's keep on going with the end turns and see if anything is happening. We won our battle. That was so 50-50, and on very hard. Slightly surprising that we won it. Down to 1800. The money is interesting right now. We seem to be gaining a little bit, which I'm not quite sure why we're suddenly doing all right. Okay, unfortunately, just as we've done something here, they are deciding to attack. Now, slightly irritating because I could, if I just acted that one turn earlier, have got something more done there, but it is what it is. At the very least, we've got Pura. This, to be honest, doesn't block. This is just open territory at this point. It doesn't do anything. Pura obviously sends the route over towards their capital, and Belk sends them up towards Petra and Banu. So I'm kind of happy that they're attacking the one they are, although it is also the least guarded. But we'll worry about that problem as things go on. They are now building more, so I'm just going to head back towards my own territory. We'll see what is in this direction. If there's two... They seem to be able to move very fast. I'm not sure we're actually moving any quicker with these elephants. I think the... Yeah, they seem to be able to move pretty fast. Maybe their movement is all super speedy. I don't know. It feels a bit bizarre. Or they're just not gaining very much. So, right, well, we might be under attack over there. We'll just get one more of these chariots lined up on the old sneaky tactics. And we'll probably do the same thing over here as well, because a pile of chariots is always the way to go. It will completely destroy our economy, but no, that is very much the plan we are going for. So let's get ourselves one more archer over here. We have 200 odd left. Let's get one more over there, which means you could be sent over to Bactria, which is perfect. And at this point, our money's gone, but our plans are in place. Interesting, we are of course behind schedule because Ares, the god of war, is a hopeless romantic. I don't know why I read that as hopeless romantic. Hopeless heroic deeds on the field of battle are pleasing to him. Indeed they would be. Fortunately, we worship Egyptian gods, so we're headed home. There are some armies over here in the field which are interesting. We could easily beat them, but I guess we could also just ignore them. Okay, well, you know what, we'll just join up and we'll keep going. Petra is actually mildly defended. I'm surprised by that. Well, this should be a simple one. The strangest thing has happened, which is Persia and Macedon are now allied. I have truly ruined the world, but I'm not too bothered, to be honest. Although a new family member, another unpronounceable epiphany, that's nice to see. But other than that, yeah, things are interesting. We've got the Dahe actually moving straight into this central area over here. Yet for some reason hasn't yet been attacked, which is intriguing because I actually could, in theory, if I were slightly bold, decide to go and reinforce it at this point. That wouldn't be the worst idea, to be fair. What I'm going to do though is get these female archers sorted out first. I'm going to send those two over in that direction, which should mean we can start to send these chariots. There we are. So we got those two chariots. They can head over towards Pura, which is just great. And our boats, you know what, we might as well just keep on assaulting because, yeah, there we are. We'll just gain some experience. I might as well. Nothing better to do with that. It's just using up my upkeep. So we'll get a few more. You know what, another spy wouldn't be the worst idea before we get going. A little bit more, and one more infantry because they are dirt cheap to upkeep, and we might as well keep using them. Sadly, we are going to have to lose Keta here. I'm not sure there's an awful lot we can do, but we can try. There is only one ram, and we have chariots. The infantry are frightened by chariots, so let's see if we can indeed charge in with the chariots to cause some chaos. Charge on in, get yourselves back out of their chariots, and, you know, they're not really doing an awful lot, are they? Turn around and get a charge in. If we can just break one, who knows, you might have a hope. Oh dear, the Peltas are back there and they're going to cause more problems because that's a flanking manoeuvre. We failed to break the front one, which is really the only chance we had. They're back to eager. It's a shame, but we'll do whatever damage we can, which is probably virtually nada. 9%. That's pathetic. Surprisingly, Petra now has a full stack, which I wasn't really expecting on this little escapade. So we'll just ignore Petra and we'll go to the juicy lands that are Egypt. We'll make it there at some point, I guess. Money is finally into negative, which is a bit of a shame, but we could start to consider a little poke here or there, actually, if we want to. Armies are starting to gallop their way in this direction, so as they arrive, they haven't actually taken advantage of this situation. They really could have done a fair amount of damage if they went for it, but they've given us a chance with the bucket of money we got up in Petra to fund our charge here. So with a big pile of chariots coming in, we could have an awful lot of fun very soon indeed. And finally they do attack Pura, but I think it's too little and too late for all of that kind of nonsense. No, they've got a decent few units, but I've got too much in here for them to handle. And of course, Stonewall not quite ready, but it's available potentially if I want to go in that direction in the future, which I might well like to, because I think Pura will be holding off the assault for a little while yet. The chariots are now on their way to completely destroy our coffers, which, you know, is just the way that this was always going to go, wasn't it? So back over here then, in the lands of Egypt, well, we can now see the lands. They are around here. I can't quite remember where the cities are. I feel like we've got two, haven't we? We've got, yeah, there's Libya and Egypt. So we'll just work on that momentarily, hopefully. I really don't know where the good cities are. Maybe I just should have tried to find out, but we'll find one soon enough. But before we get to that, we do have Varys, our brand new spy master here, who apparently died immediately. So not the greatest day for him. He apparently wasn't meant to be in this particular universe. That's a bit of a shame, because I would have quite liked my spy to actually, you know, be alive. But it's just the way it goes sometimes, I suppose. On to Memphis we go then, and several towers are being built. There are armies chasing me, by the way. They might well decide to give me a poke, but that probably works in my advantage. Down in Pura, we can see they've got siege equipment, so hopefully they'll bother to give us the poke next time. They're trying to bribe my armies, which is kind of irritating if I'm honest. There are now some lads in the way of my chariots as well. Well, that's awfully rude. We'll have to clear those out with some elephants, I guess. Good news, there's a brand new guy ready to be adopted. God knows where he is. He's over here. Lovely. I actually forgot to clear out those rebels, so I have to get onto that very, very soon. Persian army is headed off in this direction towards Bactria, I assume. So perhaps we'll have to consider what we're doing over there. Wouldn't mind taking care of that. Let's get these guys out of the way. Don't want them to lose anyone. We'll send the elephants to deal with them as I suggested. But first of all, oh yeah, they are ready, but they're also not ready at all because they're too late. We're already here. Allies, Scythia and Persia. Basically everyone is now in a massive alliance against me, apart from Dahi, who are my lovely friends. Oh yeah, it basically is actually. We've got Persia, Scythia and Macedonia all allied together, even though they are clearly like whatever. Anyway, everyone should be allied against Persia, but this is just the way it's going. So back to our homeland, seeing as we're all clearly secretly Egyptian, and this should be a fairly simple affair in many ways. Faction leader, and this should be a beautiful city where we can build up new troops. Oh, I'm hoping that this is the kickstart that we all would like. Some beautiful retinue here as well. Some special character retinue, which is always nice. So confident in defense, that's fine, but other than that, nothing too interesting apart from all of these guys. Apparently I'm just going to murder in cold blood because that's what we do. Let it in. Well, it's nice to be back to conquest at long last. So we are now shooting down the general. He might well decide to move in with the chariots, which would be a hilariously stupid decision. I'm mostly just seem to be shooting right now, and we have big elephants who are tanky, and they have chariots which are not. So we all know which way this tends to go. We'll just see if they decide to charge, which does indeed go pretty terribly for them as well. Indeed. Yep, down he goes. So there goes the general, and with that then, I guess we're going to move on to the next unit, which is pretty much just this guy getting shot down. Sorry! These guys don't know what they want to do, but they are now going to end up in range of my other archers, which is good fun, isn't it? Yeah! So I'm just going to let some of my other guys do the work on this occasion. It's nice of them to pull themselves towards their own towers and towards all my infantry and my longbowmen on the kites. It's not a good day to be Persian, I'll be honest. In fact, you're supposed to be Egyptian anyway, but there we are. Down they go. Is that someone in the air, or is that just an arrow? It's just an arrow. Oh no, that's a palm tree, Thomas. I thought that was a dead man. Anyway, seeing as I've gone blind, I guess we'll just end the battle. And the most delicious of prizes, Memphis is ours, and I suspect the world's biggest bucket of money. Oh my, 17,000. Now that is big in itself. Headphone warning, by the way. Yes, the Great Pyramid Sphinx of Giza, which was in the background of the battle. I don't know if you saw it. I forgot to point it out, but it was there. And with that, oh, marvellous, marvellous news. Okay, so they're probably not very happy with us. But aside from that, oh, okay, so we can get ourselves some more troops. Not as much as I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting slightly more. It's actually about the same as Bactria, which is a shame, but it does give us an opportunity to retrain. Oh, they shouldn't have let us have that opportunity, should they? Okay, so what do we want? We do need some more infantry, so we'll just get some basic infantry lads into the game here. That will be nice. Large stone wall. We don't need any of that. Scriptorium. Oh yes, you might want to do a little bit of learning while you're here, Porus, because I'll be honest, they're quite good on the battlefield. You're kind of lacking any basic... Yes, we're on sanguinary now. Yeah, we're kind of lacking any basic management skills. We don't need to do much managing. It mostly needs to do stabbing. And, what do you call it when an elephant... Is it tusking? We don't call it tusking. He likes a good bit of tusking. It sounds bloody filthy, that does. But we're going to go with it anyway. So when he's done with a good night of tusking, we'll move on to the next city. Okay, so we've just... This has happened, but most importantly, we still have a big bucket of money, and we can head forward very, very soon. Now they're continuing to siege me there, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm going to have to clear out these rebels, and then we're going to grab our army and smash up this one before we head back into these territories. It occurs to me that the elite cavalry stables are available to be built here. Indian elephants. Now, at the moment, the generals are essentially doing the job, so it's maybe not what I desperately need, but see, yeah, the archery range doesn't actually do it. I think it's the very top level of archery range that I need for the longbowman. Experience 1. Is that a mistake? No, just the catapult range will get me there. So the large city catapult range will get me my longbows, who it'd be nice for to use them more, but everyone seems so aggressive that I never really get the chance to make the best use of them, to be honest. Yes, this is all I get out of the barracks, so it's not really worth a huge amount. I wish that was experience 1, 2, 3. Experience 2 is fine, but it's not really worth actually building it. So what I'll probably do is do a couple simple things like the sewers just to manage it just a little bit. But aside from that, yeah, we'll just move on soon enough, I think. But we've got our army up here ready to stand up against these guys and hopefully clear them off before we head into relieving some of these cities. Well, let's finish off today then with the siege of Pura, which of course is going to be an interesting one. We don't have a general, we don't have any elephants or chariots. We actually had to fight with a basic simple army, but we do have a decent amount of stuff here. 5 infantry units, 3 archer units, and they are mostly not an awful lot of infantry here. Could be an interesting one. We should be able to do them with the range, but we'll see how it goes. Let's head in. It should be a simple enough plan here today then. We're going to try and hold off against this cav. Now I did the Scythe Chariots who are not in the battle, and I've kind of left them out in part because I wanted to goad them into an attack. Kind of possibly I should just use them to deal with all this, but alas I haven't, and thus we're going to try and burn things down instead. So since they are in range, we're going to try and burn down some of these rams. Yeah, so let's just try and burn that down. That's an awful lot of fire on there. It hasn't burnt. Just don't go anywhere, you silly sausages. Okay, so apparently they're going to do stupid things. Stop being... Actually, in some ways that's not the worst idea. Let's just run out there and shoot it like that. That'll be kind of funny, because apparently we're not burning it down in spite of 700 arrows currently hitting this darn ram. So we'll aim for this one instead. You girls just shoot over here, please. This is slightly unorthodox. Okay, what we're doing is we're actually blocking this part over here, because what we really want to do is yeah, what we really want to do is just make sure that we bottle them up because they've got too many rams, which is slightly concerning. I'm trying to avoid too many entrance points because our infantry are terrible. We don't get to use them very often, but they are pretty shocking. So I've asked you many times to get out of the way. We don't need some bad morale failures. How are we not burning them? We've hit so many flaming arrows on them. But anyway, we're going to send our archers over here. If they're going to, are they going to follow us in? They probably should, you know. But if nothing else, we're causing a little bit of a delay, which is kind of amusing. Unfortunately, we're doing anything with the delay because we've actually failed to do any shooting of them whatsoever. So we'll go off fire because apparently fire has failed us completely, and we'll just start shooting some of them down with some normal arrows. In they come then, and we probably should be standing on the roof shooting. I always feel like that would be slightly better, but we're going to shoot tons and tons of missiles in, and they're going to come flying in. We're going to hope and pray that we hold off because these cavalry are fairly solid, but you never know, eh? You never know. We do have ourselves a nice line of infantry here. The missiles can hopefully do some good work. We're not holding off awfully well right now by the looks of it. Go on to guard mode, just hold position. These are cav. They should be dying, but I'm not convinced we're really doing the right job right now. So some point blank. Oh, that's a big charge there. These are terrible, terrible units. They're all breaking. They're all breaking. They're the last man of the fence, and it's the women who are actually standing up. I mean, I know we could, in theory, just fire on the plaza, but wow. That was shockingly bad. I wasn't expecting something quite that terrible, but apparently we are catastrophically awful. So, there it goes. Bye-bye, Pura. Well, that's an interesting wake-up call to quite how terrible the armies are when we don't use the elephants, ladies and gents. I thought we might at least be able to, like, hold a line with 5 units there. Apparently not. Okay, well, the Scythe Chariots can at least take some revenge. We will finish off with a little Scythe Chariot charge, why not? And for some reason they have failed to use their archers in any way, which means that we are going to charge immediately into them and probably break every single one of their units, which is just what we want to see. So let us charge in, let us break everyone. This is going to be fun and delicious, as you might well expect. There will be routing ahoy, routing ahoy. Almost. We've got a little bit of routing going on, not quite as much as I want. The enemy general is routing though, that's pretty much all of them. There are a couple immortals, I think. Some of the Mardians still fighting. Yeah, that's the battle largely done already. We lost a little bit of our power here, but we have basically taken them out. Persian chariots, they are a bit more tricky. It's a bit of a strange equal battle, but they've also broken. Yeah, that wasn't very tricky, was it? We probably should have sent those chariots in against all of those cavalry in the other city, but you know what? You live and you learn. I wanted to see a little bit of how well their troops in Pura could do, and I'm kind of staggered at just how bad they were. But anyway, let's get back to chariots and elephants, shall we? Because a bit like Britain's circuses, chariots and elephants are the only way forward. Well, there we go. We'll have ourselves a heroic victory just to follow up from that awful, awful failure. Marvellous news. And there's a victory. So, lovely. Lovely. Okay, so it's been an interesting day once again. This has been a slightly bizarre campaign in many respects. But we are now under siege in Memphis. I suspect that'll be a fairly simple siege to sally forth out of. We've got our units largely refreshed. The Javelin men can't currently be retrained, so maybe, just maybe I will bother with their archery range after all. And perhaps in time we'll get the longbowmen out of there as well, because I'd quite like some more of them. As for the rest of the Empire, well, I guess good old Ramesses, the philosopher over here, is going to head over and deal with this army. That should be okay. We'll find out, because of course most of these guys are just tag-alongs, but we'll see about all of that. Fine. It basically comes down to this strange offensive over here in the west, which has more troops than I was expecting, I'll be honest, but I don't think it's quite the same as the 5 full stacks they had over here, so I'm quite happy with my decisions, even if they've been a little bit bonkers in their own respects as well. The map is fine right now. They've taken the 2 southern territories in the western part of our main empire, but it's fine. We can block up the whatever this pass is over here. We're going to block that up. So we'll just, you know what? We'll just rename this as Snorlax because it just blocks the path. So in the great city of Snorlax, we will hold. And we'll get back to that next time, ladies and gents, where I suspect we'll probably have a ridiculous charge through the Middle East because that's probably the way it's going to go. But for now, I will leave you. I'm Thomas, this is Nerds the Human, and this has been our Indie campaign of Rome Towards Alexander. Thank you, and bye-bye. Welcome to Babylon, which is empty. Oh, Steve's dead. Bit of a shit. They seem a bit sad about it all. It's okay, guys, this is what it's about. Oh, they turned their backs! We did actually break them with a charge! Exceptional! How are we doing this? They may take our armies, but they'll never take our spies!